about why are certain platforms having such an epidemic of bots going around.
You might remember this is what the Democrats said happened during 2016 to get Donald Trump elected in the first place. They blamed it on these spam bots on Twitter and Facebook. If you run the real data that anybody had on that question, the amount of time that people spent actually seeing anything posted by a bot compared to something posted by the New York Times or Washington Post or CNN or one of their actual neighbors of another voter in the United States, it was minuscule, and it's totally laughable that it could actually have a real influence on that election. The thing is, Hillary just didn't work that hard. She didn't answer people's questions. She didn't tell people what she was going to do. And she didn't even visit Wisconsin once, not once. And they didn't vote for her. And it was a close electoral college. As for your question, why are these bots so bad on certain platforms? Like on TikTok, they're really bad. On the X app, it's really bad. On Facebook, it's terrible. Probably on YouTube and the rest of these, any platform that's gotten this big, it's like a pandemic or something. They've got so many fake accounts. I've seen the same thing. I think everyone sees it. Fake, especially anybody famous, anybody who's popular, a celebrity, influencers, people that are getting lots of followers and lots of engagement with their content. Somebody makes fakes of them, all fake accounts of those guys all day, and you comment on their account, and then an hour later they follow you back, but their name is misspelled and it's a goofy picture of them. This sort of thing is happening when I use the internet. It is happening all over, everywhere I use it. And I hear you saying you notice this sort of, just spammy, obviously fake account stuff going on too. It's probably happening to everybody or to a ton of people using the internet, on the social media platform layer, on the publishing layer. And, probably on the e-commerce layer, they don't really have that same problem like that. But on the publishing layer, independent publishing layer, it's a really bad problem. Seems like it to me anyway. When I use social media, and so my theory, maybe sort of something to some way you could think about how to make an experiment to see if this is true or not. What I think is going on is that I think these guys at Facebook and at ByteDance and the X app and stuff, the development team, the product team, sales, I think it's sales' fault too, the department selling advertisements and getting the revenue for these platforms. They should be leaders of the other departments. Not the only leader, that the other departments shouldn't be leaders either, but when they can give feedback to the other departments from the customer's perspective of their advertisers who's paying, who they're getting the money from to be a business and have these apps, are probably dropping the ball here too and should be taking more of a leadership role. My theory is that all these guys are not working. They see the same problem too. If it is a problem for everybody and you're not being targeted, and I think it probably is because I hear other people talk about it too, these companies, why it's happening is these companies are just letting it happening. They're not taking it seriously, and they're not thinking about how it affects the user experience of their real human users, how it affects their mental health, how it affects the commercial advertising on their platform, and how it affects the social mental health and the community, to let this just crap keep happening. And they will police you, the real user, and the valued user that the advertisers value being on here, so that they can get their messages to you of what their product is, something that they know about that you would maybe like to buy, that they have to sell. Instead of them caring about you, the user, they're just letting it happen to you because they're lazy, because they already made so much money. They have, and the way they're acting, they're telling me they made too much money and they need competition. And they would be fine with it because, look, TikTok didn't exist not very long ago. Instagram didn't exist not very long ago. These apps they're running didn't exist. And the world keeps growing and more people keep going online and spending more time on their phones. So there's probably room for more competition, and they wouldn't lose their money. And the guys that are the best guys there who are letting this happen to you wouldn't lose their jobs if there was a shakeout because of competition and they had to start budgeting and there were layoffs. All the lower tier, the lower quintile would all get shaken out. But the rest of the guys who could and would do anything about this problem wouldn't lose their jobs even if there was competition. So the only thing that could get this fixed, if this really is a problem as big as it seems to you and to me, is somehow getting the social media community, your community, to all keep talking about it in a relevant way each time, somehow to get until the message goes viral and bubbles up to, or trickles down to, however you want to think about it, gets from your strata of the network to the product people at the app you're using. You know, maybe messaging them yourself if it's something you care about. I send messages that addressed to, and I tag them sometimes to the platform with these kind of system-wide concerns. And I never get a reply. I never get a like, a thanks. Hey, we saw this. I never know. You know, these probably guys get 10,000 of these a day. So the odds they see yours, you know, you have to have a lot of followers probably before they see yours. But, I do send these notes because it just drives me crazy, and I think about them, and I have some intelligent thoughts to share about them, ideas about these sort of problems I see with the platform. That these guys just, they're making all this money, they're comfy, and they don't work. They don't use the platform like the users do and like the high-powered users do, the influencers and creators. And that are making all the most popular content, and they don't think about the platform as much as those guys, and that even though that's their job and they're getting paid to, maybe they're not getting paid as much as the creators, but then maybe the creators could do more and to talk to them or something and help lead them a little bit, because those guys, it's up to them, and they're not doing anything about it, and they could. And if it were me and if it were my job, I would get bored. The money would be good, but I would still want to play. I would want to help. I would want to win. I would want my company to win. I would want things to get better for our users and our customers. And any way that we could do it, then I would want to help make things better. So I just don't understand it, but I understand also I'm exceptional that way, and that most people, after they get well fed enough, they just go home and watch their shows and then go back to work and send about 5 emails a day and do nothing.